Hi, in this quick short demo we're going to show you how to move your Kennel Connection database up into a Dropbox folder so that we can import your data. So Kennel Connection is one of the old style sort of kennel software solutions out there. It's a type of software that you download and install on your machine. Your database runs locally. You're responsible for the backup and maintenance of your software, as also you're also responsible for security and whatnot. The problem with these kind of software solutions are they do rely on Windows. When Windows gets updated, they have a tendency to break. They are also coming to end of life. So in recent years, two of the companies who've offered this kind of software solution have gone out of business, which has left sort of their customers stuck, because with Windows updates, once Windows gets updated, the software stops working, and because the companies no longer are in existence, they can't roll out patches in order to so that they work with the newer software versions. So KennelBooker is a cloud-based solution. All of your data is stored in the cloud. You access KennelBooker using a smartphone, a tablet, or a PC, essentially anything that has a web browser on it. You can run it off multiple computers, you can have a number of user accounts, and all your data is backed up continuously in the cloud. So, Kennel Connection, when you install it on your computer, they install a Microsoft SQL Server on your machine. Now, in order to copy that data out, you are going to have to copy the entire database into a Dropbox folder that we will supply you with. They do have a couple of reports in their system that lets you export data. However, it gets exported to an Excel spreadsheet, but the data isn't in a tabular format. So instead of 20 columns with all your data sort of listed sequentially down, they sort of might have a customer record taking up 7 or 8 rows, which makes it impossible to run any kind of script to import your data into any other system. So this is why we need the actual database. Now, SQL Server runs on your computer continuously, so in order to copy the server or the SQL Server off, we have to turn off the SQL Server first so we can copy the database file. So we have this handy help article which shows you the steps involved, but I'm just going to record a quick video because sometimes things are a little bit simpler when you can see them working. So in order to turn off SQL Server, what we're going to first do is we're going to go into the services panel on your computer. So you're obviously running Windows because Kennel Connection only runs on Windows. So if you press the Windows key and the letter or on your computer, you're going to get this little prompt here in the bottom corner. So if you type in services.msc and press enter, you're going to get this panel that pops up. Now, these are all the services that run locally on your machine. You can ignore all of them and you can scroll all the way down until you see one that says SQL Server. Now, the SQL Server that runs on your computer is either going to say SQL Server, SQL Express, or it'll say SQL Server wkennel. Whichever one's there and whichever one is running, right click on it and click stop. This little pop-up box opens and the server is now stopped. Now we are going to navigate to where the database is on your local machine. So again, if you type or press the Windows key and if you type C:, we're going to open up a window, and then we're going to go into your program files folder. We're going to scroll down and we are going to find Microsoft SQL Server folder, and then down here we're going to have one of two folders depending on your setup. So it'll either say Microsoft SQL 12 wkennel or SQL 14 SQL Express. Double click into the folder and then click on MS SQL. And then we're going to go into the data folder. And once you're in the data folder, there are a bunch of tables in here or entries in here. A lot of these are just databases that get installed by default when you create a SQL Server. And then the one that you're looking for is the one that says wkennel.mdf and wkennel_log.idf or LDF. Now, this is your main database file. The second one is your log file where temporary transactions are logged to. We do need both of these. So Because you've turned off SQL, all you need to do is click copy. Don't click cut, because we want to keep these files on your machine just in the interim when you're moving over to KennelBooker. We just want to make sure you still have access to your current data. So right click, click copy. Now we will send you a link via email which will open a Dropbox folder. If you don't have a Dropbox account, you probably will have to create one. Once you do that, you'll have access to a shared folder. When Dropbox opens, just right click and paste those files into Dropbox, and then just send us a quick email. Once we have the data, it takes 1 to 2 days to copy out the data. It depends how many companies have sent over data in that particular week, and depends what kind of the queue is like. But the data that comes out of Kennel Connection, so we can take your customer data and your pet data. We can't take old or existing bookings. You do have to enter these yourself, just because the data formats tend to be just completely different, and it's impossible to try and match them up with the way we store data in KennelBooker. Hopefully that makes things easy in the transfer. Now, the one thing you're going to need to do is, when you do copy those files over, we're going to need to turn back on the SQL Server. So if we go back to the services panel, and all you need to do is right click and click start, and then that will restart your SQL Server. Then you can reopen Kennel Connection, and then all your data will still be there and working.